hear that.
Now that I think about it, that's how I watched Legend of Korra. Hello everyone and welcome to Toku Portal Podcast. I am Ryan. With me is
Drago.
uh, I don't know how much of that caught, but basically Ryan is an idiot. uh, so
uh,
uh, so sorry we didn't do this Thursday. Things happened, but we're doing it today. So we open up with Devin is our Red Ranger.
yeah, Devin is our Red
Devin.
Ranger.
Okay. I'm finally learning the names. Uh, Devin, meeting his father at the busiest, most popular car wash I have ever seen.
I mean, this is the same city that has a traffic problem, so
You know
yeah.
what? That's a fair point.
And it also makes sense that he is riding on an X bike.
Oh, he is. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that was there.
You know what? I like the continuity already.
Yeah.
Uh, so, the mayor got Devin a job here without actually telling him first because he wants Devin to be responsible. And Devin, wanting to see his dad proud of him, agrees to do the job. And so his boss gives him his uniform, tells him to get to work, and then leaves him alone with no actual training whatsoever, or even like documentation signing.
I think that happened off screen, I guess.
I'm going to assume it happened off screen, but he still told him to get to work without any actual training.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he literally said, you can get started over there, and then went to go and yell at someone. Unless, like the guy he was pointing to is, like, his designated, like, I'm gonna show you the ropes guy.
Yeah, so that could be the case. Or it could just be an illegal workplace or something.
I don't think a place that popular that the mayor, like, went to look for a job for his son Ed would be that illegal.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh, Meanwhile, in the cyber dimension, Evox is yelling at his minions because that's what he does. And they're like, don't worry, we'll do it right this time. But they're not going to. You already know they're not going to.
Maybe.
Yeah. But like, same old routine. Like, he's yelling at them, and they're like, don't worry, we got it this time. Stepping up to the plate today is Blaze, with what he thinks is the perfect plan.
I mean, debatable, but
Debatable, yeah.
it works.
He wants to, like, literally cut into an energy tower to, like, just suck it dry. Which, hey, that's a good idea for getting a whole boatload at once, but getting there past the Rangers would be the problem. Fortunately, Devin has a part-time job now that'll keep him distracted. But I guarantee you that was not part of his plan.
Yeah. And Scrozzle had another plan, but they didn't listen to him anyway. So
I'm sure Scrozzle will like in one of these episodes, like, actually pull off some pretty good shit that pushes the Rangers, and then get shit on when it doesn't work.
yeah, but at least what I'm assuming is that since he has been gathering parts and stuff, and then also the fact that okay, I'm just going from the knowledge of the next episode, so
Oh,
I'm
right.
sorry, guys. I've seen the next episode, and
I
Ryan has
haven't.
not. So
Like,
I know what Scrozzle does.
Drago was pushing for us to do both tonight, but it's like, I haven't seen it, so I can't.
Okay. At least this and yeah, Scroggle does do something with this episode, with from the next episode because stuff happens. So yeah. Otherwise, I okay. Continue.
Uh, so the Rangers are called to an emergency meeting back at base where an important guy is there. I literally don't remember his name or title.
General Burke.
General Burke. All right. Well, the important thing is that he's Ben and Betty's father.
Yeah, and you know how they got their jobs.
I mean, this also explains like how they're at least semi-competent with technology too. Like they do a proof of concept where they took a bunch of like the broken like grunt parts and built a robot out of it that acts like a dog. And they go to have it like attack a crash test dummy to demonstrate its offensive capabilities. However, it instead locks onto Ben, an actual living, breathing target, which I would say is even more impressive.
Yeah, I mean, comedy and other stuff aside, but it just showed that they are actually proficient with technology. It's just that they are bumbling, and then that's what caused the failure.
Right, but also
Um,
like it recognized. Well, like I could. The joke could also just be that like, oh, it got the target wrong. But I was looking at it like, what if it just recognized that the dummy wasn't an actual like living creature to attack? Like that could be
yeah,
useful.
but I do feel sorry for the guy who was inside the Tronic suit.
Having to like run super awkwardly like in that suit. Like
Yeah,
it does not look comfortable.
yeah. I hope the guy got paid.
God. Uh, So Nate, expanding on cashing in on their ideas, goes, "Hey, what if we do something like that, but with like the giant robots that they're sending at us? Like collect those parts and gather useful material from them." And so the general says, "Hey, I got a bunker out in bumfuck woods. Go ahead and use that to do this." Uh, I'll be right back, real quick. Drago, go ahead and just talk to the audience.
Okay. Well, basically that was okay. The using the monster parts was pretty good idea as far as this thing is concerned. But as we know later, because Nate tells him that that destroying the monsters using the Nerf gun was is a bad idea because it actually fries the circuitry. So yeah,
uh,
that so that's there. But I do like the how the megazords and all are used for utility in the episode. Like they carry the gigadrone parts to the base, the rabbit one, and yeah, that was pretty interesting. And I also like that uh Devin is actually skipping work and coming to do Grid Battle Force stuff or doing lunch break. And from the reactions of the Sudsy guy, you feel like Devin has actually been cutting work, and because of how he says again,
yeah,
maybe.
so the first time is clearly during that important meeting where Devin was like on his lunch break. And I guess I'm getting the opinion that Devin wasn't taking a scheduled lunch break. He said, "I gotta go. It's important."
Yeah, but I also think that he might have gone and done Grid Battle Force duties in between that work because technically he is working a job at Grid Battle Force as a Power Ranger. Is
Yeah, he
not.
just
I
can't tell
don't
his
think he's
dad
a.
about it.
Yeah, because one thing about that, if people who are telling why does he didn't tell his dad, the reason why is because
Uh,
even if his dad is a mayor, and if anybody finds out that he's a Power Ranger, there are stuff like you know, uh, the opinion of the mayor would actually skyrocket because that he could just use the fact that his son is a Power Ranger to his advantage, and also the fact that the mayor doesn't hold the opinion that Grid Battle Force is a good place at all. E- So that is not an option. The second thing that what people say is, why not give Devon a job at Grid Battle Force? The mayor doesn't like Grid Battle Force.
Right.
That is
So,
the
like,
explanation.
both of these things were established episode 1, where they go to Grid Battle Force and he tells Devin, like, no, I want you to stay away from this place. So, even if his opinion is changing, like, he's not gonna allow Devin to get a job here. The second is that, like, that same episode, Commander Shaw straight up told the mayor, like, no, you can't know their identities, they have to remain a secret. Like, it's not Devin's choice here, it's Commander Shaw's rules that he has to obey.
Pretty much. Okay, right, continue.
I just wanted to point out that there were amongst them, like, cleaning up the garbage and junk. There was a shot of the Rabbit helicopter putting a piece on the back of the gorilla truck, and I'm pretty sure that one is straight up stock footage.
Mm. But I really like how they are using the stock footage and giving like good explanation to why they're using that.
Right, like,
That was pretty.
they're making it work in scene rather than just throwing it in and going good enough.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of missed in like Power Rangers for past few years. Even in the good seasons like Dino Charge, they don't actually do that very well. But here you can see the effort that they are actually putting in making
There-
it make sense.
I haven't seen this
But it
much
also,
effort in a Power Rangers series in a long time.
yeah, same here. Like the fact that Ryu, you might have like not seen some seasons in the middle, but I have seen every single one in
Yeah,
Saban era.
I stopped after RPM. Like, I tried giving Samurai a chance and gave up.
And yeah, so I mean, you skip practically the entire era of Power
Like,
Rangers. So.
I caught a couple of episodes of, like, Megaforce and Super Megaforce just in passing, but I never actively tried to watch it.
Mm. But yeah, this one at least the only good season that has been, in my opinion. I'm not saying everybody can have their own, and people can find enjoyment out of other seasons as well. But in my opinion, I have not felt satisfied since Dino Charge. And even before that, the previous time I was actually content with the Power Rangers season was kind of the second half of Super Samurai and RPM. So yeah, it was a long time since I've actually liked the season. Like here in this season also, there you can see the effort in writing and quality that is pretty good.
Like, at no point do I actually, like, watch an episode of Beast Morphers and go, man, that's cheesy. Like, it's actually pretty good.
I mean, yeah, it's cheesy, but it
Right.
managed to
Like-
hide the cheese. A
Like,
bit
yeah, it's
better
cheesy,
than
but
most.
never. But at no point do I just, like call it out for being cheesy.
Yeah.
So, while Devin's on shift, his father comes along, offering to take him out to lunch, but Devin, being responsible, goes, no, I can't, I'm behind on work. So his father decides to take his own lunch break to help him out, because apparently he used to work at a car wash. You know what, that's
Now,
actually...
from the implication.
Go,
Okay.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's actually just nice backstory to see that, like, hey, he wasn't always born to be, like, a leader mayor type. Like, nah, man, he had to work a part-time job at a car wash to pay for his dates.
And also the fact that it kind of makes sense how he would know Satzi. Maybe like he worked there,
Yeah, like, Suzy was his
So-
former boss.
or maybe like Satzi's dad. Maybe Satzi's dad was his former boss.
Oh, maybe. That would make sense, too.
It kind of makes sense. Yeah, because Satzi looks like he and Devon's dad could be like around the same age. So
Uh, Meanwhile, Blades
I
raids
mean,
a. Oh, go on.
oh no, continue.
No, you go on and continue.
No, I was gonna actually say continue.
Oh, it's okay. um, Meanwhile, Blades raids a construction site to turn a uh, saw blade into the monster of the week, uh, figuring he can literally cut open energy towers. Uh, Meanwhile, Ravi and Zoe go and check up on Nate uh, and on the progress for the machine parts that they've been collecting. And we get a quick shot of some of Nate's equipment being relocated, and in that pile, we straight up see Jay's head.
Yeah, that was kind of a surprise. That I'm
Like,
really excited
I had to
from that
I
shot.
had to be like, wait, what? Like I literally pulled up a picture just to be sure. Like that was that, right?
Yeah, and also the funny thing is that they actually set it up like because in episode 3, in the Valentine's Day episode, when when Commander Shaw scolds Nate and then she asks Nate to build a body, and this looks like the head of a new body droid he has been
Right.
working on.
Uh,
So it makes sense. And considering what happens in the next episode, yeah.
yeah. So for those of you who don't watch the Sentai, the Rangers all have their machine buddies, as you have seen, and there is a fourth one introduced with a new Ranger member, and it looks like Nate is building that fourth one, and so that sets him up to also be like the new team member.
It is a theory though. I don't know how valid it is, but yeah.
It's rare for the sixth ranger to be someone we already know, and in cases where they are, like it's usually very meaningful for them to want to be a part of the team like that. So, and they're setting Nate up for it really well as it is. So I could see him being Beatbuster.
Mm. Um. Now we just have to see like where the entire story goes with it, but yeah. I can't wait like for at least episode. I think episode 10 or 11 maybe they might show up, but it
That
was a really good scene.
that would make sense. I think in Go Busters they showed up around episode 16, and since Power Rangers usually cuts it a bit short, 10 or 11 would be a appropriate estimate.
Yeah. But otherwise I do think I do enjoy the subtle building up of like the
Everything.
other everything that is there in this season. And maybe it could be that it's a massive red herring, or it could be used for something else. But again, we have seen Power Rangers do that before in previous seasons. At least after I saw the season and then I saw the Sentai and then I realized that it was a red herring in Power Rangers. And yeah, though that we could have that kind of situation, but again, only time will tell. But since we are just in episode 6,
Yeah.
episode 5.
Like, who Beatbuster is still a toss up, but Nate is definitely building Jay, who is Stagbuster.
Yeah, it could. Again, it could be a massive red herring. It could be something else. But yeah, continue.
Uh, so, Meanwhile, Devin at work puts his communicator aside while he goes to wash a car. Don't want something like that getting wet, I can understand. It's not like we have water resistant watches nowadays.
It's also the thing that actually watches are just an inconvenience when washing cars, because it could because
Oh,
you could actually scratch a car with
I,
your
I'm
watch.
like joking here. Like, I do dishes at work, and I'll have to take my wash out just because of the like when it gets wet, it like bothers my wrist. Like, there are multiple
Yeah,
reasons to actually take that off. I'm just being an asshole.
That's okay.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean, it's I've seen this complaint multiple times, at least like to other people who I've talked to. But I'm like, yeah, but
like
even you
he
could actually,
actually does have a good reason for taking it off. Like he just shouldn't have put it so far away that he couldn't hear it.
yeah, that is a problem. But otherwise, I don't think that it's unreasonable to keep your watch
Oh
aside.
no! Like if it was me, I would have put it in. I would have like put it in my pocket because I would assume that those uniforms have pockets.
Yeah, I mean, he should have put it in the pockets, but again,
Hindsight, really.
stupidity. Yeah,
And
because
then, oh, go on.
I know I'm just saying because we know what happens later in the episode, but what do you call it? He doesn't. So he could have just placed it there just for a minute or two, and then continue washing the cars or something.
Right. Uh, and then we get the episode intro. Some people might say that 8 minutes into the episode is a bit too late to do the intro, but Beast Morphers apparently doesn't care.
The one thing about funny about Beast Morphers is that Beast Morpher places his intro mostly usually either from 4 to 8 minutes in the episode, and I think it's actually good to have a long cold open. It actually gives like I don't know, for some reason I feel that it is a good enough what do you call it, uh,
Um,
opportunity
mo-
to
motivator or like mood setter or something. I don't know.
yeah,
Like,
it sets up the mood pretty well.
cause like they put it
Like,
here like as a big fight is about to happen, and it's like you know what I feel what they're going for here. Uh,
and it's also right before the advertisement, so you could get the people pumped up for like the episode then.
right. I just kind of look at it like I'm always used to the intro just existing mostly to inform the audience of, hey, this is the show you're about to watch. So for that to happen a third of the way into the episode is just really off.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not a complaint as such, but
It,
it just a
no, I'm
bit
definitely not
off.
complaining. I'm just pointing out how weird and unusual it is. Not, and that is not a bad thing. In fact, they're making it work pretty well.
So far at least. Okay, I'll continue.
Sorry. So Ravi and Zoe go to fight Blaze and the what are the robots actually called in this series?
Uh, Actually, it depends. They're just like they don't have a specific name, but this one's called Cyclotron.
I'm just gonna call them the Robotrons, and if the show wants to correct me on that, so be it.
Oh yeah, it's Robotrons.
Oh, is it actually?
Yeah,
Okay. Uh, so mid fight, Devin finally realizes his watch is going off and gets the call. So he tells Suzy like, "Hey, I gotta go. It's important." And so this is where Suzy makes the again comment. Uh,
mm.
okay, guess what, kids? If you have a job, you can't just walk away from that job whenever you want. Your boss isn't gonna like that.
And if you are actually secretly a Power Rangers, don't keep jobs. You're
Now,
not gonna save the world that way. Especially if you're in America.
this episode is when I noticed something about Blaze's Darkbuster suit. One of the lenses looks cracked. Is that normal? Have I just never noticed that before?
Uh, okay. It was there from the first episode, but I don't know what actually if it is what do you call it? If it is a American edition, it was in the Sentai.
Uh, I'm sure.
But it looks cool. It looks like a
Yeah.
scouter.
Yeah, it kind of does, but it usually just looks cracked to me.
Mm.
Uh, so Devin shows up and saves the others, prompting Blaze to retreat. Uh, Blaze tries taunting Devin first, is like, "What kind of leader are you?" But Ravi backs him up, saying, "Hey, don't let it get to you." But then once Blaze goes away and they're alone, that's when Ravi's like, "Okay, but for real, man, you were cutting it close."
Yeah,
It's
and it
like
was also
it's
a
like
nice way to.
stand your ground in front of the enemy and then be real when they're not looking.
Yeah, that was I did like that, and also the fact that they actually I don't know, I like how Beast Morphers mention all the weakness and it doesn't like focus on them,
Right.
like go like
Like
it is
in
there in the background rather.
in Go Busters, it happened like almost every episode to one of them.
Mm. And in this yeah, in that aspect I actually I enjoy how they are handling this in Beast Morpher more than I enjoyed in Go Busters. Yeah, so and also the I didn't like a mini fan like what he was using.
It
Uh,
it will be good like when the weaknesses actually like come into play because they'll feel more meaningful. I'm sure.
yeah,
As opposed to Go Busters,
that
where you just kind of got used to them happening every time.
e- and it also would make sense like when suppose some of the rangers are not in the scene or like a ranger is trapped or something and then he has to fight like the enemy alone. In those cases, that it could be like the weaknesses would be very what do you call it, very apparent in those cases because they had to do that all, and then that actually would make them a lot what do you call it, better.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I just realized something.
What's up?
Why didn't Devin freeze up? Oh wait, freeze up when they show the Dogatron, the Vetronics into then they turn Tronics into a dog.
Because it doesn't look like a dog.
Oh, okay.
Because when Devin was looking at it, he saw a robot goofily walking on all fours. He did not see a canine. It comes down
Okay.
like the weaknesses are exploiting like the imperfections in the DNA, but it's still for Devin. It still comes down to perception.
Oh right, yeah.
So while
Okay,
we,
continue.
so yes, that's why we can like look at that robot and go, he's acting like a dog, but Devin can still be okay because that's not a dog. Uh, Ravi and Zoe suggest Devin quit his part-time job, but he says he can't bring himself to do that because his dad is finally proud of him and he doesn't want to lose that. He goes back to work where Suzy tells him that if he does that shit again, he's fired. And then Zoe and Ravi show up to help Devin with his backup of work, wherein they all put their watches aside and Blaze and Roxy notice this and decide, hey, perfect time to attack. So cut to later when Commander Shaw shows up in person going, we've been trying to contact you for hours. One of the energy tanks has been robbed.
Yeah, that was a major victory for the villains without actually showing it, but it is now villains have enough. I mean, Commander Shaw doesn't treat it like it's so much, but for the villains, it's a major supply of Morphex. 300 tons would be enough to do a lot of chaos and other stuff in the season, or like send multiple giga drones to collect multiple Morphex. So
Right.
yeah, that would be a pretty that is pretty good enough quantity. And also, I like the fact that they destroy their phones as well.
Yeah. Like, this is the perfect excuse to explain why the villains still have enough more effects to keep going. Like, hey, they got a win. It wasn't a big win, but they got a win.
And considering how limited in resources the villains have, this is a major win for them. and it actually makes them more threatening because in small quantity of Morph X, they have been able to cause a lot of damage or get a lot of stuff. Because in this season, the villains are quite cunning, in my opinion, with how they go about their mission and such. And also, I do like the fact that we now know why Scrozzle can know whatever is going in the real world because he hacked into security cameras. Because in the previous episode, I think I didn't realize how he could see what do you call it, the dish antenna thing, neural transmitter. I think it's called from in the real world from the cyber dimension. But now we know that he can hack into security cameras. So that was pretty neat, I guess, to have that explained.
Right. Uh, so, the Rangers get ready to head off to fight the Robotron. Devin goes to tell Sezzy that he's got to go, it's important. Sezzy doesn't believe him, tells him that if he leaves, not to bother coming back. And Devin leaves because, hey, being a Power Ranger is a bit more important to him. Uh, uh,
It. Oh
Go
wait,
on.
I was just saying it technically doesn't matter because if he doesn't become a Power Ranger, he can't act. Then a lot of people will be hurt
Right.
or die. So or a
Like,
lot of Morphics will get stolen.
for him, it wasn't, the choice wasn't about whether or not to keep his job, it was about whether or not to, like, let down his father. And that's what I mean by being a Power Ranger is just a bit more important to him.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Uh, So, unique footage fight scene again, as normal. Mayor happens to be passing by and witnesses the Red Ranger rescue a little girl from getting cut in half, and gains a new admiration for the Power Rangers after seeing them in action personally. Scrozzle sends a giant robot down, and Devin hops on Cruz to go mech fight him, while Ravi and Zoe continue to fight the one on the ground.
And I really do like the fact that I really like this entire setup in Go Busters, even in this Beast Morphers, about splitting up the team into two, and how we have not gotten the Megazord yet.
Oh yeah, it took a while in Go Busters for them just to get the Megazord, and one of the complaints was just how slow the pacing was. But here, they're they're doing kind of the same thing, but the pacing doesn't feel slow. Everything feels natural.
Yeah, and it actually would make the Megazord combination more meaningful if it happens later on. Yeah, and also the fact that what do you call it? I do like the fact in okay. I was just gonna go a bit ahead. The new model of Giga Drone looks really cool in my opinion, and also the fact that addition of just a shield actually made the Giga Drone more threatening.
And like I was watching this scene going, like this feels like the setup in Go Busters to when they got the Megazord. And so this is definitely like setting that up in my opinion. Like, hey, it's starting to become not enough to just to have one of them. In fact, here like Devin is having trouble taking on by himself that they get shut down for a minute, and so uh, Jackson, the gorilla robot, have to like go out and pilot themselves to help him.
No, go on. I actually don't have anything much to say.
Okay. Yeah. I remember that the rabbit is Jax. I forget what the gorilla's name is in this one.
Smash.
Smash. Uh, no wonder I couldn't remember it. uh, so some really good choreography fight stuff. and victory for our heroes, as expected. Uh, oh, Devin actually like realized like, hey, that monster was able to like fry the circuits and like shut me down for a bit, but I didn't blow up. What if I do that to him so that we can get one of the Giga drones in one piece and still operational, unlike all the fried parts that they've been picking up from the ones that blew up.
Yeah, and I do like, but I actually don't understand how this the rabbit able to lift up that giant Megazord. Sorry, Giga drone. But
Uh,
again, it's not nitpicking. I'm just what do you call it? Astonished kind of thing.
uh, uh, so they're like all admire the. So I feel like this one that they managed to catch is gonna kind of like be the basis for the actual Megazord. Like that's kind of what they're playing into here.
No.
No, okay, then I have no
Yeah,
idea what it
Megazord
is.
functionality.
What?
Megazord functionality is already there in the Zord, because but it's just that what do you call it? They use that to try. They use that as a setup for the next episode and to farm data, like for setting up other stuff. Like, uh, okay, I'm not gonna spoil that for you, but you have to watch it next episode.
Yeah, all right. Uh, and so, but Nate gleefully asserts that now that they have this, they can get rid of all the useless junk. To which Ben and Betty step in and say, no, 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 it's not all useless. We figured out how this severed hand works. And then Ben launches Betty like 20 feet into the air and miraculously catches her. Like, he gets fucking taken out and they both fall to the ground, but she landed in his arms. That is skill.
And I also like. I mean, people have problem with Ben and Betty in from what I've heard, but and from what I've talked to some people, like they are pretty. There's a 50-50 split on how good they are. But
Hmm.
in my opinion, I think they have been using them to like set up the show, set up the plot of the episodes a lot better. Like without Ben and Betty, that they didn't get the idea to get capture the Giga drone, and in some episodes, like how they have been, what do you call it, more competent in the Rangers, especially in the like the bicycle episode, and also the fact that they saved Devin few episodes back, and that has been really good. I'm really liking these characters.
Yeah, they are actually pretty good comic relief. Uh, so, cut to the Riptide Gym where Devin is on the phone, where his father is talking about how disappointed he is getting fired so soon. But then when he hangs up, like, Devin turns around to the news where his dad is going on live making an announcement about how proud he is of the Power Rangers.
I mean, Devin's dad actually went from like the most pissed guy in the show to like the most like, okay, hey, look at the Power Rangers, upstanding citizen in an instant. Because literally, it was not even a minute long before he actually cut the phone and went in the stage. I guess paying a politician is a work.
Gotta have that, like, separation of personal and business life.
Yeah, and yeah, I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Mayor Daniels this episode. I like his character as well, and I do like the fact that this episode ended on like a. It's not like sort of bittersweet, but kind of like that. What do you call it?
Um,
Like how the like how it was not neatly wrapped up in like a bow or something. It was, it was like there was some consequences to like him leaving
right.
between the relationship, and it also makes sense because I think these I think like all of the students, like not students, sorry, all the Rangers are feel like they have just finished high school and they're doing, and Devon is the one who's doing nothing after high school, and
Wait,
that's the reason maybe why it makes sense why his dad would want him to take a job.
like, hey, if you're not going to college, at least get a job.
Yeah, and that's one thing I really find weird in Power Rangers is that they don't mention college. They barely mention college. Like the only time I think I have seen them being mentioned is, what do you call it? Is when we know that Tommy graduated from a college, and
That's
Alicia from
right.
Wild Force is actually trying to get into college. Other than that, we have not seen much college life here. Like college rangers who are in college, or like rangers who want to go to college. That's kind of weird,
Huh.
considering that's a now there's like a entire debate about whether going to college is great or not, and I don't think they would want to touch on that. But at least that part of life is not mentioned at all.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
I,
I find
I
a
never
bit
really
weird.
noticed how non-existent college has been. Like even Kimberly didn't quit the team because she went to college. No, she went to become a professional gymnastics or something.
Yeah, she wanted to compete in the Olympics.
Uh, yeah, wow. I cannot think of a single time where Ranger has gone to college other than, like you said, like Tommy graduated college off screen and Wild Force,
Yeah,
where it was Pink in Wild Force, who was a college student.
no, it is White Ranger. There was no Pink Ranger in Wild Force.
Sorry, she had pink accents on her suit.
Yeah. But
My
yeah,
confusion.
that's but yeah, that's kind of weird. And and yeah, okay, wait, I've also forgot the Pink Ranger in Dino Charge is actually trying to get college credits in the
Oh,
show, and then she's that's the reason why she actually starts working in with the what do you call it with the Ranger team in the first place, like to that extent. I'm oversimplifying it, but yeah,
right,
she's and that is also there, but otherwise it's not that. I mean, we have seen people from military become Power Rangers, but not never college students.
right. Like in RPM, the Red Ranger there, Jack?
No,
No,
Scott.
Scott. So, right, Jack was SPD, wasn't he? Scott. So like I feel like Scott's relation and Devin are like opposites kind of because Scott's dad knew he was a ranger and still never like showed any hint of being proud in him or anything. Whereas here, like Devin, the only way his father would be proud of him is if he found out he was a ranger.
Again, I don't know. I don't think so that he would still be approving of him being in Grid Battle Force as the Red Ranger. But yeah, but I think now it is more likely than not. Again, it's a pretty good, what do you call it? It's a pretty good way, a good dynamic they have. I really hope that this gets explored later down the line.
It's definitely like building the building the mayor up to like being okay with it and accepting it before doing the reveal.
Yeah.
So that when his dad is proud of him for it, it doesn't feel like a complete heel turn from I want you staying away from that place.
Mm. And I'm really liking the fact that they are building up the characters in the first few episodes of the series. Like we get to know what kind of person each of the rangers are before like we go headstrong into the plot stuff, and also that, what do you call it? Yeah, and also that they have been building up the villains to be like villains to have like some plan, and that Scrozzle has, and we are building towards that. And I really am enjoying this setup of in Power Rangers.
Yeah, like what we're getting is good storytelling, and I'm glad that we're getting something good for Hasbro's first Power Ranger series. I'm also glad that we're getting something this good for a Power Ranger series.
It's been a long time since
It,
we actually have gotten that.
Power Rangers has a pretty bad reputation, so it's nice when they actually put out a good one.
To be honest, it's not as bad as you think because Power Rangers and Sentai have like around 50-50 chance of being either bad or good. And not bad or
Right.
good, I'm saying one better than the other, but like, but there are some at least since Neo Saban started, the only one I can say that's one season that is debatably maybe better than the Sentai counterpart was Dino Charge because of the fact that some people like the fact that Dino Charge was more focused on the team rather than just the Red Ranger, and
Right.
and one the main character quote unquote was a Pink Ranger in the show, which people which people really responded to a lot better. At least some people responded to a lot better. People who don't like Kyoryuge especially, like some people who complained that Kyoryuge was more like a rider show than a Sentai one.
Well, so Kyoryuger was definitely like the start of a red centric era, but at least King knew when to step aside and give spotlight to his teammates.
Yeah,
Something that
and
other shows Wojer didn't know how to do.
that's true. I mean, people like Yamato. The only thing is that people like Yamato and people don't like King.
Uh, yeah, I can see
I mean,
that.
it's hard to stay mad at like Yamato because he's such a like I don't know. It's either appearance or like he's just sweet. But King was just too what do you call it? Too full of it to actually act for people to actually like him, even if it was red centric.
Hmm.
And at least some people. I'm not saying all. Like I think King likes King a lot.
Uh, I didn't really have a problem with him. I had fun watching Kyoryuger.
Yeah. And on the tradition of me dropping Sentai, I dropped Sentai. I dropped Kyoryuger around episode 10.
Oh. You
I
didn't
don't
get to
know.
so you didn't get to the point where Kyoryuger just stops caring and just kind of gets like crazy with itself.
I haven't reached that point yet because one I got bored. I don't know why. For some reason, I can't really watch Sentai the farthest, except some seasons like Lupin Ranger was a Pat Ranger where I really like the characters, so I
That
stayed
was
on.
really good though.
Yeah, and and then and what do you call it? And Q Ranger because I don't know. I just started enjoying the middle section of the Q Ranger, so the beginning and end I had to go through the beginning and I had to stay at the end. Uh, the middle chunk of Q Ranger is pretty good in my opinion. And Zyuohger, I think I've seen like half the show. I'm currently watching it, but
I haven't actually seen Zyuohger.
exams are there, so I haven't I haven't finished it yet. But it is okay. I like I like the main red. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's good. I do enjoy it. And the only thing is that I think people would get mad at me for saying that I dropped Deca Ranger at episode 25.
Wow.
That is the longest.
At least you gave it a chance.
Yeah, I gave it a huge amount of chance, but it's just that I don't know why, but I'm like it's not
It
in my head I'm like I don't like this. It's just
it just didn't
CSI.
do it for you.
Yeah,
Uh,
for me like I like SPDs better in my opinion, like
Fair.
because of how because the villain is actually what do you call it? There's a like a main villain and there's a good enough
Yeah,
storytelling.
SPD doesn't have an actual like main villain. All the villains, all the criminals just buy from the same weapons dealer.
In Deca Ranger, yeah.
Yeah, in Deca
SPD
Ranger.
has a main
In
SPD
SPD
has
they
a
have an
main
actual
villain.
like villain that like they even like have the character that like, creates the monsters.
Yeah, and also I really do like that's the thing. It's the same thing that I have with Time Ranger. I like both Deca Ranger and Time Ranger, but at least I stuck around and finished Time Ranger. But I really like the fact that there's it's both the shows are very similar, but there's the actual villain in the show, which made like both the seasons much better for me.
Uh,
Yeah.
if you so like what you missed in the middle of Kyoryuger though is that
Mm.
like around the middle part, Toei cheaps out and decides to just reuse the monster suits that they've already used up to that point.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, so they pull off a rider.
yeah, they have this event where like, all right, all the monsters get revived, and then they just start doing batshit crazy stuff with it. Like some of the monsters start teaming up in the stupidest ways, and I just couldn't help but enjoy like how much the show just kind of like gave up on telling a coherent story. Like during that portion of the show, like I was
That sounds fun.
uh like it gets back on track like later on, but there's that whole section where the show just doesn't care and just goes crazy with it and has fun.
Yeah, I guess I should continue watching then, just for the middle section. But yeah, yeah, but yeah, this is at least I just hope that I get rid of my Sentai not watching Sentai curse that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as Power Rangers goes, I'm really enjoying it. Usually I actually like to see the Power Rangers season before I watch a Sentai one. Because don't want to get spoiled, or I want the experience to be fresh. But I didn't think Go Busters would get adapted, and it really seems like people who are watching this show and working on it actually like not watching the people who are working on the show, they actually love Go Busters. They have improved on some of the aspects of Go Busters where it needed improvement, in my
Right.
opinion.
This show is shaping up to be better than Ghostbusters.
I Yeah, it could be it depend, and I think that this would be the kind of season where like if you like the Sentai, you do like the Sentai, and then if you like the Ranger, you like the Ranger, and you wouldn't be wrong for it, kind of thing. Like you wouldn't be like it. It would be a very close call, in my opinion, if the show goes how it's going. Because Go Busters in general were also great. Uh, yeah, but I really do like the fact that they have been using the escape suit, and Roxy is a really good villain.
I agree. Uh, so, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We'll be back on Tuesday for more Ryu Soldier, Wednesday, Kamen Rider Zeo, and Thursday, the episode of Beast Morphers that Drago really wants to talk about. Uh,
Okay. You should have seen the episode today because we would have finished both the episodes at once.
but then what would we do next week, though?
True.
Uh,
Review something else?
uh,
Okay.
Probably. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.